drivers that are considering coming up here and working, as well as for the female drivers, because when I looked to see if there was any female drivers posting about what it was like up here, I only found one, and it wasn't a good report. But I'd say myself, the company I'm with and the area I work, I'd say it's pretty good. You do make, on average, as a company driver, more than you would over the road. You just have to be, okay with the area, being in the country, being a somewhat remote area. It's not too remote. I mean, you can still access the basic things that you need. You got Walmart. Alright, now I'm headed to do what they call a barrel run. That's where you get paid a percentage based on how many barrels of water you can transport out in a shift. It can be good, it can be bad, depending on the rate they offer you. It also gives you a good look at the terrain you have to drive. You need to be comfortable with hilly terrain, with somewhat mountainous terrain, not too bad. We're not talking like a Washington State or a Oregon or Montana. I'd say the next level down. You have to be okay with being away from your family. Right now, the priority for me is being able to make a good living. My children are grown, but they still need mama from time to time. My father was a truck driver, aunties, uncles, so it runs in my family. And I lost my father last year to cancer, and he was the breadwinner for the household, my mom. So my main reason for being here is to make provision for them, my daughter, my son, and my mother. Now it's just to be able to help out, and for myself, of course. Most people prefer to do this type of running in an 18 speed. I am fortunate to have an automatic, which I love. To each his own. Everybody, I'll fix the camera in a second. Everybody has their preference on driving. Trying to get some of this good sun off of me. Good grief. Sun is really bright, okay? Be ready for that too. If you like sun, you'll be in hog heaven until the winter. I heard the winters are harsh. I'm trying my best to prepare mentally for that, and get all my materials, supplies that I'll need to survive a winter in North Dakota. They're said to be pretty harsh. In a few minutes, I'll be going through an area they call the Breaks. It's very scenic out here. If you like hills, mountains, and those nice views, you'll love it. If you don't, stay away. This is my first time doing tanker per se for an extended period. I mean, I've done little back trucks and stuff like that. I am a Class A driver. I've done dry van, flatbed, and now tanker. Had the endorsement forever. And I'm glad I got it when I did, because now I'm hearing that it's an individual test and individual fee. When I went to school, it was, all inclusive. Very windy roads. Another thing that a lot of the companies look for is experience in off-road driving. If you're from the country, it'll be just like being at home. If you got dirt roads, gravel roads, you'll be right at home, and you know how to handle, the slick and the bumps. Right now, we're just, like I said, en route to our pickup location. There are other women drivers out here. I haven't seen very many, but there are. I have seen. This is pretty much Indian reservation territory that we're working most times. You have to have, if you're an owner-operator, you have to have special permits to operate in this territory, so keep that in mind. It is a little bit more costly for the owner-operator, but you do make considerably more money than, say, myself, a company driver. You have to do the math and see if it's worthwhile for you. Other than that, it seems pretty straightforward. What we do is pull production water, flowback water from tanks and go and take them to a disposal site, offload. And that's what you do typically. You're going to work 12-hour shifts. Not everybody works that way. It depends on the company. Some of them will let you operate log free, or you know how that goes. I don't go too much into that. I'm not a part of it. I'm not against it. That's, your own decision there. But be sure, the best option, because of the wait times at the disposals, I will tell you this, the best option is for you to find a company that pays you an hourly wage, which is a percentage of what the truck does, and you'll come out better that way. If you find yourself with long wait times, you still earn a decent paycheck. The only way I can see that barrel runs pay, that are worthwhile is if you have, good turnover time, meaning you can get in and out of disposal and offload quickly, or you can run and carry a heavier load. The more that your trailer can support legally, the more money you'll make. All right, now, as I said, I'm coming up to an area called the Breaks. It puts you in the mind of old Western movies, the old Apache movies, Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. You're gonna see something like that. So just keep your eyes open. Now that truck in front of me is called a sandbox truck. There's a lot of them. Most of them are from the reservation working, but you'll see plenty of them around too. You got frac sand trucks. It's a lot going on out here. The roads, the main highways aren't that bad, and some of the what they call lease roads, which are gravel roads, aren't that bad because something I didn't consider, the oil companies maintain them in order to have access. They keep them up pretty good. Now these are the brakes. I think they call them the brakes because most people that aren't familiar, when they come, they hit the brakes a lot. That's the only thing I can think of. But like I said, it's very scenic. I like it. When I first started driving trucks, I worked the Grand Canyon area. I trained in Phoenix through Swift. I was terrified of it, really. The steep inclines and stuff. And I said, Lord, it's been a while since I've been out driving a tractor. I was doing local work, doing construction, driving tri-axle dump, and just come back to tractor trailer just like that. I thought I'd be, come on these hills and mountains, I'd be like, oh shit. No, it really isn't that bad. Just take your time and use your senses. Now look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Makes me want to go home and watch a Western. Maintain control. I'm taking on these hills. It'll be just fine. Ears may pop, but hey, it's not bad at all. I think there needs to be a lot more information out there about, because, hey, some of us are looking for more money. We're working just as hard out there doing a local job. And you're doing the very same thing, and you could be out here making pretty good money driving for the oil fields. We're going is on an Indian reservation. DOT can be pretty heavy at times there. So, best thing I can tell you, best advice I can give you, I know you can be money hungry, and I know there are those, but run legal if at all possible. First and foremost, if you got to run illegal, the company's not paying you enough money. I like this company because it's a small operation, but I can afford to run illegal. I don't have to break any laws to make the money I make. What are they making here? On average, 70 to 80,000 a year. Some of the better companies, you may see 120,000 a year. And some of them have company housing, some of them you have contribution on the rent and utilities. The company I work for, we do pay a portion of the rent, but the accommodations are decent. I have to commend them on that. I have seen other drivers that work for less than favorable companies that live in less than acceptable accommodations as well. But again, these are the brakes. Most of the jobs that you go to, if you come to work in North Dakota, say working in Newtown, Watford City, etc., you're going to have to come through these breaks sooner or later. So ain't no way around that. Get your mind right. Driving this automatic, it pulls pretty good, but most of the trucks that the company has are KWs, and most companies here have KWs because they pull these mountains very well. You'll see other trucks lugged out. This is a Western Star KW. Excellent job. Now, if I was driving the KW today, I'd be halfway up that mountain by now. That's all good. Yep, I just wanted to give you guys a brief synopsis of what goes on here. I'm not the type that's gonna have camera on while I'm doing my job. for safety reasons. But I have to say, it's a good gig. Now, another thing that we didn't know before we came up, check out how they pay you, when they pay you, because some companies require like 2 weeks in the hole. You need to make sure you have money and provision to last until you get your first paycheck. Your first paycheck may be a month off, realistically speaking. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what it is. Yeah, it's bumpy in here. I'm headed into the reservation right now. Oh, you're gonna have to spend some money on FR clothing. Buy it before you come up. It's very expensive here. FR shirts, for those of you who have worked in the oil field or gas refineries, you know typically in a well-populated area will run you $50 a shirt, $50 a pair of jeans. Shirts here are $90, okay? $90 a piece. You're gonna need a week's worth to get through unless you want to wash every couple days, which I don't like that. Let's just say this is where we are now. We're inside the Indian reservation. Some of the things you'll have to deal with are open range cattle. You'll see some wildlife. You'll see foxes, skunks, buffalo. You know, if you like nature, you like the wilderness, you'll love it. And it's not too woodsy. There's not a lot of trees out here, as you can see. Just open plain. The way the pay works, you work for, say you work for an hourly company. Whatever they're making an hour, if the truck makes, say, $150 per hour, that's just an example. Most companies will start you off at 23, 24, or 25%. Some start you off at 29%, 28, 27. Okay? You take their hourly wage, times it by 12, then you'll times it by 0.25. That'll show you what you'll make for that day. Okay? Now that is a realistic rate that I gave you. On average, they're about $120 an hour to $150 an hour for jobs. Like you'll pull up to upright tanks or the frac tanks, and you will offload water, the production water that's developed while they're refining oil. Okay, there's salt water that's injected into the ground, separates the oil and water. The salt helps for the separation. The water pumps off into certain tanks, and then the oil pumps off into others. We keep the water production down while the oil is producing. We keep the water levels down. That's what we do. Alright, I hope this video gave you a little bit more information about what goes on. Of course, there's probably a lot of people.
Did you say something?
Negative. Of course, there's.
I can't hardly hear you.
No, I didn't. Okay, there's a lot of people that are out here making
Must
this
be getting in the bad area.
that won't tell you about it because, hey, it's competitive. It's competitive. And then the more truck drivers that come up here.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. The more truck drivers that come up here to do the work, the less work here is available.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, T.
I can hear you. Must be something wrong with my radio.
See.
But anyway, enjoy the video. I'll talk to you soon.